Hi, my name is Damon Brown of DamonBrown.net. I am an advocate and coach for side hustlers, solopreneurs, and the non-traditional entrepreneurs. Again, you can learn more about me at DamonBrown.net. Today we're talking about Costco, and they're the big budget warehouse stores that are popular over here on the West Coast and also in the Midwest. And we're talking about a subtle change they actually made to their business strategy. If you're over here on the West Coast, particularly, I'm over in Las Vegas. I used to live in Southern California, and we are car people because everything's so spread out, unlike the Midwest and particularly the East Coast. And so Costco is a place that you go to get really cheap gas. And so being a loss leader because they have so much volume of things that people come there to get gas, and it's like, well, I might as well go in there and get my 24 rolls of toilet paper, as we saw over the past year. So they ended up making a subtle change recently. I talk about it in my ink column over at inkdamonbrown.com if you want to hear more about it. And what they did was they just put up a simple illuminated neon sign. And if you've ever been to the Costco gas stations, they're like massive, kind of like the ones you used to see. I'm from the East Coast, you used to see them off the freeway, and ends up being 3 or 4 rows of three different gas pumps. And when you usually drive over there, it's a massive line, often going out of the parking lot because the gas is so cheap. I'm talking like 30 cents, 40 cents cheaper than the average gas station. And so someone could be using that middle one in between the two stations, the two spots, the two pumps, but you can't see it. So there's a lot of honking, it's a lot of chaos and so forth. Recently, they went ahead and put a little neon sign up there, and it shows either the green thing where it's a green car, where that certain space where that pump is of those three pumps, if you can visualize that, one of those three pumps is available, or the red sign, as they do in Japan, the red sign where that one is currently being occupied. Everything is 100% smoother. And it made me think about how many times we end up hampering ourselves because we don't actually slow down enough to think about our systems. Happen to be recording this during the New Year. It's actually New Year's Day here. And it's the perfect time to think about your systems. As I said in other conversations, you can always think about your systems. You can always improve them. And so there are two really big things you can learn from this simple improvement that I'm sure is making things a lot smoother for the customer and maybe even helping Costco's bottom line. The first thing you want to do when you're thinking about your systems is to make it easy for people to actually find you. I'm a coach, like I said, to entrepreneurs. I've coached hundreds, probably going on thousands now over the years. And one of the biggest challenges that I've found with the conversations I've had with folks, now it's becoming all over the world, virtually and otherwise, is that they want to have this level of success, but then they're not allowing people to see them on that level. For instance, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, particularly people who are a little bit younger. I'm of a young generation X, older generation Y. So the folks that are Gen Zers, the folks that have been growing up in the internet systems, they don't always realize that they need a website. Because if someone Googles you and it goes to your LinkedIn or it goes to your TikTok or whatever's hot at the time, if something happens where TikTok is down, or I did another ink column about this when all of Facebook's properties went down, suddenly people can't reach you. So let's say there's a major deal, like people are reaching out to you and saying, oh, I want to buy $1,000 worth of your service or your product or whatever, and you're on some platform somewhere and the platform happens to be down. I've had that happen before, so I'm not speaking just out of place. I've had that happen before where people have tried to find me, and that particular platform I was depending on, it was a problem. That's why I have joindamon.me, which is my email newsletter. It comes out every Wednesday at 5:55 a.m. Las Vegas time. Never miss a beat. So that email is not going to go away. You're always going to hear from me at joindamon.me as long as I keep it running. It might change platforms, but it's always going to be available because I actually own the platform. It's my email address. It's my setup. Same thing with having a website. Aside from depending on a provider, which you have to do if you're going to have a website unless you have your own server, at least you have some type of home base. And so if someone says, I really need this product, and they hear about you, maybe even on TV, or you get some nice exposure, how are they supposed to get you? Right? If you're dependent on other people, that ends up being a problem. This ties back to Costco because Costco, for that period of time, since they started the gas station until they upgraded them recently, they were depending on, the onus was on the consumer itself, him or herself, to go ahead and look out the window. And if you've been to Costco, you know what I mean. look out the window and see if that middle space is open or if the far back space is open. And then you have to like drive around people and people don't see all the time and it's confusion. I'm sure there's been some car accidents. Why are they making it so hard? A simple detail like that makes it a lot easier. So number one, you want to make sure that you make it easier for people to find you. The second part of it, which I think is actually more important, is make it easy for you to serve other people. And this sounds bizarre. I talked about this in some of the keynotes. You can catch them at damonbrown.net or on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/browndamon. It's amazing where we'll want these incredible things like to become a millionaire, to sell out of our product and so forth. But then again, we end up making it hard for our customers to serve us. I'm an independent publisher. I actually have my own imprint called Bring Your Worth based on my most recent book a couple years ago. And I'll go to conferences or go to a networking thing back when we were currently sheltering in place, or back when we weren't sheltering in place. And people will be like, hey, I want to buy a copy of, my upcoming book, Build From Now, which I happen to have one copy of. It comes out January 28th, 2021. You can pre-order at damonbrown.net and get a special gift. And I could be at an event. People are like, I want to buy a copy of your book. How much is it? I'm like, cool, it's $25. Like, all right, I don't have any cash on me. And it's like, okay, so then what do? Do you have cash on you? If you don't have cash on you, do you have a Square device or one of the competitors where you can do the credit card things? And that's more where our society is going. There's so many cases, I want to say 99.9% of the time, if not 100% of the time, when I wasn't ready for a sale. In other words, let's reverse that. When I wasn't ready to serve someone and someone was like, yes, I want a copy of all your books because I have several books now. I want a copy of all your books. And I'm like, I don't have any on me. And I don't have my reader, so I can't really accept any money right now. But why don't I email you and then we'll connect or we'll text or whatever. 99.9% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, there's never a follow-up. Not from me, but from the other person. They've already lost interest. They've already moved on. It's like me, again, going to the Costco parking lot. It looks like a zoo, which you've seen it. If you've seen it on Saturday afternoon, it is crazy. You get over there, it's a zoo, and then you have no idea if there's spaces available. You have no idea how long it's going to take. And they put up this little sign to say, hey, this is how we can organize things better to take care of you. If someone comes up to me now, again, out of sheltering in place, comes up to me now and says, hey, I want a copy of your new book, Built From Now. I'm like, cool. I might have cash on me. If you don't have cash or whatever, then you can do the credit card, or you can go to damonbrown.net and I can go ahead and put in your order through there. And then I can just give you the book now. Done. So if you go to damonbrown.net, my whole store, which was a redesign I did over the past year, my entire store of books, which is the new one, Build From Now, the most recent one I talked about, Bring Your Worth, and then the Ultimate Bite-Sized Entrepreneur, as well as the Build From Now t-shirts and the Bring Your Worth mugs and all that. My whole store is just at damonbrown.net. At one period of time, if you've been listening or connecting with me for a while, you knew that you had to click on something and then you have to email me or has to go to this other website. No offense to the other websites. I won't mention them, but go to another website and hop over here and do this. And then it'll be another thing over here and I have to forward the email. No. damonbrown.net. You can get all of it. Now it requires me to hustle on the back end and that work and that time to organize it so that you can get all of it. But that should have nothing to do with you. So that's my whole point. With Costco's new move, I think it's super smart. Number one, it makes it easier for the people to actually find you. And when people find you, they can actually connect with you. If they don't connect with you, then you're not going to be able to serve them. And the second part, it makes it easier for you to serve the people. And if you make it harder for them to be served, then not only are you losing money or profit or whatever metrics you want to use, but you're also losing an opportunity to serve them at the highest order. By me putting everything on damonbrown.net, it's a one-stop shop. You come through, the people have come through and bought their t-shirts, bought their mugs, but I have a box set available of the Ultimate Bite-Sized Entrepreneur, Bring Your Worth, and the upcoming one, Built From Now. People are buying the box sets. They're getting it straight from me. They're getting it shipped from me. They don't have to worry about anything. They put in their credit card or whatever, and they have one-stop shopping. And so think about that. The systems that you have actually will dictate what kind of success you have. I found that over the years with my own business, which is what has led to bestsellers and having a good coaching practice, as well as lots of keynotes. And I found that with the people that I actually coach in a meta way and seen them have plenty of success. If you want more insight as far as how you can utilize your best resources, come over to buildfromnowquiz.com, buildfromnowquiz.com. Obviously, it's based on the new book, Built From Now, and talking about the 4 resources we all have: focus, agility, time, and energy. And if you go over there, it's like 3-4 questions that'll take you 2 minutes. Hundreds of y'all have taken it already, which I am super excited and proud about, because I'm trying to get you to the level where you can understand what your main resource is. Again, with focus, agility, time, and energy. And once you know those resources, you can maximize them and build wherever you want to from now. And if you're listening or watching this before the book comes out, come over to damebrown.net and you can go ahead and pre-order it, or go to buildfromnowquiz.com and get a nice running start on what I talk about in the book, which is a lot deeper. Until next time, remember to always bring your worth and that you can always build from now. Take care.